What's going on, guys? This is Andrew from Trail Runner Customs. Today we're back with my 2006 Sequoia, and we're going to be touching on 5 things I wish I would have known before I bought my first gen Sequoia. Now, I bought this car a little bit over a year ago, and throughout the past year I've put a lot of work into it, cleaning, upgrading, and repairing lots of things on the vehicle. And I just want to share a few things that I've learned that I wish I would have known before I bought it. The first thing I want to discuss is the 2 main killers of the Toyota Sequoia. Now, aside from frame rust, there are 2 things that can really destroy your Toyota Sequoia if they happen to go wrong on your vehicle. And the first one is the timing belt breaking within the engine. Now, this engine is an interference engine, which means if the timing belt breaks, it will basically destroy your entire engine and you'll have to get it replaced or total your vehicle. Now, timing belt is something a lot of people talk about. You need to replace yours around every 80,000 miles. And so the first thing I wish I would have looked at when buying this vehicle was checking the timing belt. Now, taking the timing belt cover off and looking at the belt itself is something that you can do without too much effort. You just have to take some bolts out and peel it back. And basically what you're looking for is cracking or dry rotting on the timing belt. And if you see that, you know that it needs to be replaced. And replacing it is usually about $1,000 to $2,000 depending on the shop. And a lot of people like to replace their water pump when they do replace the timing belt. So it is a little bit of a job, and if you want to do it yourself, it's pretty complicated. So just be aware of that. Now, the other Sequoia killer is the lower ball joints. Now, these notoriously have bad lower ball joints. And if your ball joints fail at a high speed, this can definitely cause some extreme damage to your car and in some cases total it. I see all too many people have their lower ball joints fail on them. It's a part that definitely needs to be looked after and replaced frequently. Getting replacement lower ball joints isn't all too expensive. I think it's around $200 to $300. And those are for the OEM ball joints. So it's definitely something you need to replace and you need to be aware of when buying this vehicle. The second thing I want to talk about that I wasn't necessarily aware of is the extreme amount of information on Facebook groups and forums that can really help you out when doing maintenance on this vehicle. Now, of course, with the older vehicle, a lot of people like doing their own maintenance and problem solving themselves as opposed to taking it to a Toyota dealership or a shop. And there's tons of information out there. There's also a First Gen Sequoia Facebook group that will help you get to the bottom of your problem. You can post in there, and there are tons of people in the community that will help you out so much. Also, when upgrading and developing mods for my Sequoia, I was able to connect with the community via email, Instagram, Facebook. Those guys were able to help me out, provide insight, and just all around help me create great mods for the vehicles. So shout out to those guys, you know who you are. But overall, the community is exceptional and they will help you out with almost anything you need, any questions you may have. The third thing I wish I would have known before buying a Toyota Sequoia is that, guys, high mileage is okay. When I was searching for a car to buy, I was way too locked in on getting a low mileage vehicle. And the thing about that is, high mileage is okay as long as there is good maintenance on the vehicle. Although this vehicle only had 180,000 miles when I bought it, which is on the lower end for the Sequoia, at least this year's Sequoia, it was in crap condition. And looking back on it, I wish I would have maybe bought one with a little bit higher mileage around the low 200s with impeccable maintenance. Look, these things are going to last a really long time, and the most important part about making them last is having good maintenance and keeping up with that maintenance. So when looking at Sequoias, a lower mileage vehicle may not be as good as a little bit higher mileage one if the proper maintenance has not been done to the vehicle. When I bought this one, I thought that I was getting an exceptional deal with only 180,000 miles on it, but I should have waited and got a better taken care of vehicle, and that would have treated me a lot better in the long run. The fourth thing I wish I would have known before buying my Toyota Sequoia is just how poor the light output is. Now, I did come from a 2006 4Runner before I bought this, and the light output on that is pretty good. I have upgraded to LEDs, and so when I bought this vehicle, I was driving at home. It was getting dark, and on the road, I flipped on the headlights and they sucked. I mean, you could barely see anything with the stock halogen bulbs. And that's a big reason why I decided to upgrade to LED headlights, as well as creating my own custom pod fog lights. These things increase the output drastically, but from the factory, the output on these things sucks, so you're definitely going to need to have some upgrade options in mind. The last thing I wish I would have known before purchasing this Sequoia was just how similar it is to the first generation Tundra. I saw an article, I think, where they mentioned that all the way from the front end, being the front bumper, back to right inside the cabin is exactly the same for the first generation Tundras, at least some of the later models, which was surprising to me. Now, when they say that, I think they mean mostly like the engine, transmission, and all that, because I know that the Front grille is a little bit different, and a few parts on the front also are a little bit different. But when I say that, I think they mean mechanically, and I found this to be true. A lot of the maintenance instructional videos that apply to Tundras also apply to First Gen Sequoias. And so there's a lot of parts in common there, and that just gives you overall more information, more part options, and gives you just an overall bigger community. I know a lot of people group these cars together just because they are so similar, so that was something I wish I would have known. But overall, this vehicle has been a joy to own the past year. The reliability is unmatched, and this V8 does give you power for towing and off-roading and things like that. I highly recommend getting one of these vehicles, especially at the lower price point for the year. I think that they're a great investment, and they're super fun to mod out, to drive, and just to have as a vehicle in general. Now, I'm going to keep coming out with new upgrades for these first generation Sequoia and Tundra vehicles, as well as older Toyotas on my website, trailrunnercustoms.com. If you're looking to upgrade your vehicle, make it stand out and perform better, definitely do me a favor and check out trailrunnercustoms.com. Also, subscribe for more Toyota content, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. If you want to watch my full journey restoring this 06 Sequoia, check out the playlist in the top right, or if you want to see how I design these fog lights, check out the video in the bottom right. Thanks.